Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is JT on the reel, back here once again with another Call of Duty World War II gameplay. I know, it's probably getting old. I know it doesn't get a lot of views, but I chose this gameplay in particular because I could go a little bit longer with it. This is actually going to be a little bit of a two-parter, so two gameplays in one video, because the subject that I wanted to speak on today is a little bit lengthy, and that subject is whether or not digital media can really take over physical media. Now, before I get into this, there are two sides of my opinions coming here. The first side is looking at it from the perspective of a GameStop employee. I have worked at GameStop. I still do work at GameStop. And the second part of it is coming from a consumer's perspective. Because I have played video games for many years. I've bought video games for very many years. I've been a video game consumer for a long time. So the big question that I am going to try to answer, and now keep in mind this is all opinionated. The biggest question I'm going to try to answer, in my own opinion, is whether or not digital media taking over would essentially crush the corporate giant that is GameStop. The short answer to that is yes and no. Let me explain why. Let me delve into this a little bit why. Essentially, I've worked at GameStop, and the GameStop that I worked at was a mall store. And in our little mall store, we didn't have a whole lot of customers. And 90% of what we sold, I'd say about 85 to 90% of what we sold was actually collectibles. So if you walk into a GameStop near you, anywhere, you will most likely find that they are all starting to become overrun with collectibles. We are moving further and further away. The closer and closer that the video game industry gets to pursuing digital media outlet, the closer and closer GameStop itself comes to selling collectibles and clothing and apparel and just little useless gadgets and so opposed to physical games. Now, at the mall store that I worked at, we probably had almost as many collectibles, different collectibles to sell as we had video games. We had so many collectibles. Now, I'm not saying it matched how many games we had, but if you compared them, it would be fairly close. I've seen other GameStops that are almost 100% collectibles. They don't hardly sell any games. They might have a little... It's sad, but they might have a little section for video games, and the rest is all collectible based. The GameStop that I work at now is much bigger, and it's pretty evened out with how many collectibles, and it's pretty evenly distributed with all that. So, as far as digital media crushing physical media, it is moving toward that, whether we want to admit it or not. Digital media will one day take over the marketplace. I don't believe that it will be streaming, not for a very long time. I believe that maybe the end goal might be to stream video games from the internet, but for now, I think it's going to be more like what the Xbox Game Pass services, where you pay $10 a month, you get all these great titles that you can download and delete as you please. All within that $10 a month, but I don't think that the way that the internet in the United States is in particular, and because such a massive chunk of video game companies are based in the United States and Canada, and the way that our internet is set up, I don't think that everywhere in like the U.S. and Canada have strong enough internet connection to really be able to handle streaming games. I know for sure that I don't. My internet, I have such piss poor internet that I have to actually move the gameplay over to my phone for my PS4, and then edit everything on my phone and take my phone out into town with me where I get LTE and upload from there. I'm lucky. Excuse me. I am lucky that I actually have an unlimited plan and I can upload as much as I want. So, as far as my home Wi-Fi, it would probably take me days to upload a video. It certainly takes me days to download a video game. So, yeah, my home Wi-Fi would not be able to handle it. And where I live, there's a lot of people up where I live that are like that. We just have really bad internet. I pull maybe, if I'm lucky, 600 kilobyte a second download speed. So not even a megabyte. I maybe pull half a megabyte. And that's on a really, really, really good day. So where most people are pulling upwards of 50 to 100 megabytes, I'm not even pulling half. So that's not even remotely close enough to stream a game. However, downloading games, it takes me a few days, but it's doable. It's doable. So I believe that with the more that people are buying into the convenience of just being able to download a game. I mean, put it this way. Today, Bayonetta came out. Now, if I was any regular Joe Schmo, and Bayonetta, and I love Bayonetta, it came out for the Switch, and it started pouring snow, and I really wanted that game. Am I gonna take my happy ass out to a GameStop or a Walmart or a Best Buy to buy it, or am I just gonna go with the with the easy option and go ahead and just buy it digitally? I think that I would probably go with option B and get it digitally. More and more people, especially in the US, are buying into the convenience of digital purchases, because even though there's no physical media there's no disc, there's no case, what have you. Most people are okay with that. I mean, they've been doing it with their movies. They've been doing with their music for years. Personally, I love physical media. I don't hardly ever download video games unless they're download only, like PUBG. There was no physical game for that. I rarely ever download music. I do stream music, but if I really love a musician or an artist or a band, I'll actually go out and I'll buy their CD, or I'll buy something. Like if I had a record player, I'd buy the record. Their vinyl. So I just personally believe that there is always going to be some people out there like me who prefer physical media, but the way that it's going nowadays, is probably not enough to keep physical media around much longer. Now, do I think that digital is going to overtake physical in a big and bad way anytime soon? No, absolutely not. I think that we probably have another 7, 8, 9, 10 years of physical games being pumped out before they inevitably just kind of die off. Now, do I think that will kill video game stores like GameStop or EB Games? In a way, yeah. It will definitely damage their business. Look at the way that Xbox is doing their Game Pass now. They have recently made it, it's $10 a month, and now every single Xbox One exclusive, Microsoft exclusive video game is going to be coming on Xbox Game Pass day one that it launches. Day one. That is a great deal. To be able to get Crackdown 3 and Sea of Thieves, and whenever they release a new Gears of War or a new Forza or a new Halo, to be able to do that day one and only pay $10 a month and get that plus hundreds of other games anytime I want, that's pretty sweet. I have to admit that is pretty sweet. However, I still like the physical media. I still like holding the game in my hand. If I really love Sea of Thieves, I'm probably going to buy Sea of Thieves or Crackdown 3. Same thing. I'll probably buy it if that's a game that I really, truly enjoy. Now, that being said, back to it maybe killing GameStop. Microsoft alone will not kill GameStop. That won't happen, especially if they keep going the route that they are going right now, where they're not releasing so many exclusive games, because they really don't release many exclusives at all. You know, I know they have big plans to release big exclusives in the future, and that's cool, but it's not enough to kill physical media. It really is not. I don't think it's going to be big enough to crash GameStop. I think it's going to damage GameStop a little bit, sure, but especially around my area. I live in a fairly rural area, like actually not fairly, a very rural area where internet is not fast. It'll take you a few days to download something, and most people would just prefer to go ahead and buy the real game over downloading it online. And there are a lot of areas in the United States, especially like, you know, out in the middle of Bumblebee's nowhere, your internet speeds are terrible, and you know, you just don't mess with buying digital. It's not worth it, because you're not gonna get to play it day one anyway. If I went out and got an Xbox Game Pass subscription the day that Crackdown 3 launches, I'm not gonna be able to play Crackdown 3 for a week or so, because it's gonna be stuck downloading. And then I've paid a month of Xbox Game Pass for 3 weeks of a game, $10, which, I mean, mind you, is better than paying $60. That's true, but still, it's not really worth it, especially when I can just go get the game, set my console offline, and install it on my hard drive, and then download the small update that launches with the game. That's maybe going to be a gig or two, and that'll take a couple hours, and I'll be able to play it day one. I don't think it'll kill GameStop, not yet. Not yet. It could in the future, but it could kill their physical games. But as long as there is an audience for video games, and as long as there is an audience for pop culture in general, I think GameStop will always be around. So will FYE, stores like FYE or Sam Goody, to essentially sell you the bullshit that comes along with it. Sell you the plushies and the pops and the keychains and all that stuff, and way overcharged for it. You know, $15 for a freaking keychain. I mean, and people are gonna buy it. You know, if somebody really, really, really loves a game, they are gonna buy just about everything. Those little mystery box Overwatch figures, those little vinyl figures that you don't know what you're gonna get, they're $10 a piece for a little itty bitty figure. Mind you, they look good, but I wouldn't pay more than $3 for one of them, especially when I don't know what the hell I'm gonna get. So, what's the point? But I've sold many of them to people. When I worked at the mall store, we had quite a few people coming and buying. Same with the Hatchimals. Like, you would not believe how big Hatchimals are, especially at our GameStop. So, anyway, that's all for me. I think I've got my points across fairly well. I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. I don't even know what gameplay it is. I'm not even watching the screen or anything. I'm just watching my time. Hope you guys enjoyed my opinion and my views. If you have a different opinion or a different view, feel free to please leave it down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you want to see more content from me, leave a sub. And yeah, so see you later, guys.